Howdy, everybody. Here we are, episode 2. What does one do when completely jet lagged? It's currently 4:25 a.m. I've been awake for an hour. Tried reading to fall back asleep, didn't work. That's a bummer. So like any normal human being, I thought, what next? What do I do? Oh, let me just record a podcast while I wait for the sun to come up. Fuck it. Here we are. Let's go. Yeah. I'm excited. Episode 1 was a smashing success, I think. Feedback was great. Episode 2, I've got a great layout coming. We got some highlights from draft weekend, along with some lowlights. Those are always fun. Can't have high without the low. Then we'll get a little bit into a love-hate section, not because Matthew Berry does it, but because I want to. And we'll talk about some transactions, right? Draft happened, season is upon us, so we'll start managing our teams. Which team owner realized they drafted a terrible team and have already started tinkering? Which owner hasn't done shit yet? We'll get into that. I'm going to highlight some of the biggest question marks heading into the season. I think this year's batch of team names is already fire. And then we'll finish with my picks for this week. I think they're probably going to be pretty accurate considering it's fucking week 1 and we know nothing yet. But before we get into all of that, I'd like to introduce you guys to today's primary sponsor of this podcast. Here we have Hawk and Cock. Forget that heteronormative cock and bull. Hawk and Cock is the premier ginger beer from Moscow Mules. Is your pre-party not quite ripping and roaring? Is your dance party feeling a little stale? The decision isn't that hard. Liven up your night with some Hawk and Cock. Without further ado, let's get into episode 2 of A Couple of Best Friends Hanging Out. Best friends hanging out. Yeah. Also, pre-apologize, Bacon, if I fucking wake you up, because it's 4:28 in the morning and I'm singing, and fuck it, here we go. Highlights from draft weekend. Number 1 highlight for me was floating. The floating in itself was phenomenal, but there's there's 2 moments that come to mind, but the first one, Colin Gall. Shout out, and also highlight and lowlight is Colin deciding not to tie into the group, for the horde. He was a little rogue agent and just going through the first real rapids and Colin flipping, losing all of his shit, total yard sale, and then just causing this cascade of events, this avalanche of a series of unfortunate events. It was just so good. Pebbles immediately flying off of his raft to try to help Colin save his stuff. O'Malley trying to get involved but failing miserably, caught in the ropes, getting rope burned. Bill and myself, oh my god, we were absolutely useless. We were crying, trying to survive. We were safe on our 2-man raft. Secure. We were holding down the fort while everybody else was selflessly trying to help. Bacon hopped out, was corralling beer cans over to the shore, only to turn around and see us floating down the river, leaving him behind. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, that's where we lost our red cups. Hashtag not one more piece of trash in the river. That was super unfortunate for Mother Earth, and that's why we can't have nice things. God, that was just so fucking so epic. We definitely need to float more often. That was phenomenal. Shout out to Blake and Pebbles MVPs for driving, staying soberish enough to handle that. Um, Speaking of Pebbles, this is the second greatest moment, arguably the first. Uh, but leaving the float to go on a bathroom break, which for any other normal human being floating down the river means you just pop into the water and you pee, and everybody knows what you're doing. You're making eye contact with people. It's weird, but it's fine. It's like this mutual understanding that you just kind of pee, right? But Pebbles decides to like wade away from the group on some sort of fucking Rambo mission to go use the restroom. I thought he had to take a dump, and he like knew about a porta potty or some shit, and he was just gonna have to like mob and catch up. But yeah, for those that weren't at draft weekend, and you probably won't even, the people that weren't at draft weekend also probably won't be listening to this podcast. Uh, Stu will, but I don't know about Max or Scott. Anyways, Pebbles makes it to shore, starts pacing along, realizes that he's just out of his element. There's no way to like pee without people seeing you. So really, it was a fruitless venture. So he starts walking back into the river, steps on a slippery stone, and just like a cartoon, his feet fly out from underneath him, head over heels, or heels over head, really. Just full on cartoon, gets hang time and everything, smacks his back. Looks like he died, for there was a solid at least 2.5 seconds where I thought maybe like a spine was broken, or, for sure pride and ego, but like maybe there was something else. And then he throws up the thumb. Only his pride and ego are broken. He's fine. Just, in an utter state of disbelief and embarrassment. I mean, there was probably 100 people floating through that section and saw that. And I'm so happy that we got to share that experience with those strangers. Oh man. Another highlight. Ooh, the Thai food, Thai takeout. Great idea in the moment. But I have to give a huge shout out to Pebbles' sewage system. It handled 9 bros with like brutal Thai takeout digestive issues. And I didn't hear about one single issue from the toilets themselves. I mean, I know that I had to poop 4 times before draft time. That's 11 a.m. That's nutty. That's too many poops. And barely any coffee contributed to that. So for me, that's a highlight. Just Pebbles House in general. Beautiful, beautiful home. Thanks for having us, Pebs. That was super sick. I love the destination draft. I think it was a smashing success of a weekend. I was super bummed to leave early, but also to have been able to make it, that like just, literally just a weekend of best friends hanging out. And that was a highlight in itself. All right. Yeah, after that generic statement, I figure we might as well talk about some lowlights as well. First and foremost, no Topgolf. Once again, I think this is the third year that I've been like actually trying to go to Topgolf. Like every time I go to Vegas, I like try to get there, but somehow it just never works out. I couldn't tell you how excited I was to have Topgolf on the docket for this weekend with the boys. It was just going to be the perfect storm of fun and hilarity and frustration, I'm sure, because golf is fucking brutal. And we just, classic timing, didn't work out. The U came up with a plan to move poker to Friday night, I thought that was a great idea. We had so many activities scheduled for Saturday. If we had poker Friday night, that was one less thing to do. Um, but yeah, it didn't work out. Once again, Top Golf has eluded me. Uh, one day, one day it'll happen. Maybe my birthday. We'll start planning that now. Nobody make plans for Memorial Day weekend. We're going Top Golfing, everybody. Lock it into your schedules now. Oh fuck. Speaking of this failed plan, another low light is like having Evan. Evan did a great job writing up a fucking plan for draft competitions, point allocations, all that shit, and then immediately just gets torn apart. Everything changes. It's bullshit. That was, I mean, we didn't ravel nearly enough via GroupMe, apparently. Like, we just have this fetish with arguing. I'm not going to name any names, but O'Malley, eventually you'll have to agree to something at some point, right? Like, hopefully, I don't. Are you trying to get married at some point, bro? Like, that's gonna be a lot of agreeing you're gonna have to do. And I know you're like saving it all up for later, but maybe you should practice a couple times now with your boys. um, yeah, fucking the bickering kills all of us really. We all take turns. We all have different tolerance levels. It's pretty funny when like the bickering happens. There's usually a second gathering of people that are just like, oh, the bickering is so lame. Like, let's hang out in this other side room. And then eventually the bickerers realize what's happening, and then they like join the main group now because so many people slowly have wandered away. And then people are like, oh, where is everybody? Oh, they're in here. And then the bickering follows that group, and then it's like this fun cat and mouse game, hide and seek. One day we'll stop the bickering, but that will not be for a very long time. Um, Biggest lowlight for me personally, Scott showing up fucking late, being completely unavailable. That was my nightmare, and being on the communication team, me and Bacon, calling into Scott and Max and Stu, there's a lot of responsibility there, and just the fucking straight up. I felt like we were in like a war zone or something. Like Scott was behind enemy lines. Like he was an undercover cop or some shit. Like, do not contact me. I'll get a hold of you. It was like the best laid plans. I was sweating in my boots, I was quivering in my boots, just hoping that he was still alive. That they didn't figure out his true identity. So yeah, that was the biggest low light for me personally. Fucking, I love the draft. It's my third favorite weekend of the year, and it was like, I mean, we literally changed weekends because Max wouldn't be able to do Labor Day weekend, and we were like weighing whether or not we would have to fucking committee draft for Scott. Oof, that would have been controversial to say the least. All right, enough about that. Let's see. On to picks that I loved. The draft itself. Fuck it. We're in it. We're in it now. The draft. Besides all the complaining about like how long each pick took, I think that this was a very well drafted draft. Looking at people's teams, there are some question marks and like some head scratchers. But again, it's fucking not even week one yet. It may turn out that the Patriots suck dick and the Jets just win that division handily. Maybe Sam Darnold is the fucking next Peyton Manning. Bacon certainly thinks so for some reason. um, but yeah, let's see. Let's talk about some picks that I loved. Part of this is my own like personal preference. Part of this is like value compared to mock drafts from some experts. The most striking one I saw was really Evan Ingram. Um, he was drafted in the seventh round versus fifth round for experts. I mean, I think that two whole rounds to Havana's Mahomes, Ev Dog. That's a great. I think that's Evan's team. Yeah. I'm gonna have to start learning these team names again. I know one team name. Fucking Carry On My Wayward Son. You gotta be kidding me, Scott. Come on, fuck. Yeah, Evan Ingram. I love the pick. I was actually hoping that it would fall to me. I don't think there was any way you got him in the second pick of the seventh round. I was the ninth pick. I was really really hoping he would fall to me. You forced my hand on drafting a Charger, which is always fucking questionable. You never really trust an LA team. Am I right? Am I right, Bill? Oh wait, you won a championship using Todd Gurley. Fuck. Josh Gordon, huge value considering the news that he started practicing already. Um, Fucking seventh round again. The seventh round is filled with value right now. Carson Wentz, Evan Ingram. I think Will Fuller's in for a big year. Josh Gordon. I mean, he could be a top 10 receiver. Without Gronk there, somebody's got to catch the ball. Julian Edelman's like 32 and white. Nah, it ain't gonna be him. Josh Gordon's a man. Hopefully he can stay clean and get a full 16 games. And if he does, that'll be Bacon's only good pick of the draft. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Your first pick, Le'Veon Bell. You love to see a good Le'Veon Bell pick. All right. The Sean McCoy. Fucking speaking of Bacon's team, this could potentially fuck Bacon's team because with his second pick, he went for Damian Williams. That was well ahead of where Damian Williams' average draft position was. But I mean, this is a classic case of seeing a guy you like and drafting him. This is like straight out of fucking John Lynch's playbook. We like a guy, we're gonna go get him. And I don't think there's any way that Damian Williams would have been available in the third round, where his ADP, says he should have gone. I think Bacon, you like the guy, you pulled the trigger. Fuck it. Especially the way we were drafting running backs, there was nothing. I mean, yeah. So LaShawn McCoy got drafted in where the fuck did he get drafted in? Let's see. A little bit of research here. The 11th round, and he could potentially be starting for the Kansas City, the highest ranked offense in the league. And Shady McCoy reuniting with Andy Reid, that could be huge value. At minimum, they're probably going to be a running back by committee, right? Hopefully, for Bacon's sake, Damian Williams, carries the lion's share, and LaShawn McCoy truly is washed up. Otherwise, I mean, why the fuck would the Bills cut him if he was still good? But maybe that's, the Jeff Fisher effect of players being good, but your coach is just awful. I don't know who the fuck. Sean McDermott? Is that who's coaching the Bills? I don't fucking know. Who gives a shit about the Bills? Yeah, so those are three picks that I think will be very beneficial contributors for their team. Picks I hated. This is, the flip side of the picked a guy that you like, and Nick Chubb in the first round is kind of crazy to me, especially with the eighth pick overall. I mean, you could have fucking gotten your boy DeAndre Hopkins. Tyreek Hill kind of falling into your lap makes this pick a little bit more bearable to me. Like, I kind of like thinking that you chose Tyreek Hill number 8 overall and then Chubb with your second pick. That's kind of, yeah, that's the way I'm choosing to think about this. But once again, this is a Lynch moment. You liked a guy, you targeted him. There's probably no chance that he would have been around by your second pick, so you got the running back that you wanted. He's probably going to pan out. The Browns' offense is one of the most fun to be a part of, in my opinion, right now. There's a lot of hype. Hopefully Baker Mayfield can live up to it. Freddie Kitchens, who knows what the fuck he's doing. Wasn't he like part of that fucking Saints scandal? Like paying money to have Saints defenders hurt people? It sounds vaguely familiar to me, but who knows? I could be full of shit. Lord knows I say a lot of bullshit. Anyways, yeah, Tyreek Hill, same tier as DeAndre Hopkins, Odell, Devontae Adams, Julio Jones. So you got your WR1 and a RB1. So congrats on that pick. I hope it works out for you. But yeah, at the time, I fucking hated it. Yeah, reaching. No. Stu, you had a couple head scratchers with your back-to-back quarterback selections of Lamar Jackson and then Kyler Murray. It was Kyler Murray, then Lamar Jackson. I realize the floor of these guys is pretty high, right? Because they're both rushing quarterbacks. But that's just kind of gnarly to me when you have some glaring needs on your team, right? You didn't really have, I guess Marlon Mack is like a solid running back, but kind of a questionable running back, I guess. So you needed help there. So you could have snagged, at the time, Darwin Thompson was a good pick because he was supposedly in for the running back by commission role in Kansas City. Jalen Samuels, I think that he's also going to be RBBC in Pittsburgh. Devin Singletary, now the starter. Shady McCoy, he was available. Malcolm Brown, for all those games when the Rams are winning by 20 and Todd Gurley gets benched, Malcolm Brown's going to get points. Kalen Ballage, I mean, that's kind of a fucking whatever, hoping for the best out of Miami. Who knows what's going to happen there. But yeah, anyways, that was just a little bit of a head scratcher for me. And then also, like, taking those guys over Russell Wilson. Yeah, Phillip Rivers. I don't know. Drew Brees. That's a big name. Ben Roethlisberger. Yeah, fuck it. You think these guys are gonna do well? They may be the future of the league. So I hope it works out for you. But back-to-back QBs is always questionable. It worked out for Max last year, so hopefully it works out for you too. The biggest head scratcher of them all for me was the Hawkinson pick. I still don't even know who that guy is, and now he's a meme in our league, so that's cool. He's the main sponsor of this podcast, his ginger beer company, so I love that. Just a few names that were picked after this Hawkinson cock. You might know these names: Adrian Peterson, Cam Newton, Vance the Dance McDonald, Kyle Rudolph, both proven tight ends, ranked higher than Hawkinson. Both of those players, I think, are in for big seasons, Vance and Kyle Rudolph. But we were reaching on. Is he a rookie? Is he a journeyman? Where did he come from? Nobody knows. Hmm. I hope it works out for you. Your namesake. It's always shitty to like have your team named off of a player and then realize that that player is super shitty and you have to drop them and then you got to change your name mid-season. It's a whole deal, and I hope that doesn't happen to you. But maybe I kind of hope it does, actually. Fuck it. Hawkinson, what are you thinking? Speaking of what are you thinking, Sam Darnold, why in the world are you drafting Sam Darnold, Bacon, in the 14th round? You could have had Debo Samuel. He's the hottest prospect besides Nick Bosa in the 49ers organization. You're a 49ers fan. You already have a quarterback. And you're choosing Sam Darnold. I mean, at this point, the 14th round, we're all taking pot shots, right? Like, we're all just trying to land a fucking miracle. But you have Jared Goff. It's not even like your first quarterback is like a question mark. Like, you're starting Jared Goff no matter what. That's a high-powered offense. What? Sam Darnold. The fuck? Bacon. Bacon. What are you doing, buddy? What are you doing? All right. I'm gonna take a little breather. Those were the head scratchers from me in the draft. A lot of personal hot takes. I hope that they're all wrong. I hope that every single one of your players does great. It's not how fantasy works, but it would be cool if we all just fucking succeeded at everything we did. Which, I believe in each and every one of you. So keep it up, boys. We're doing great. Let's go ahead and take a moment for another sponsor. I'd like to introduce the league to The Crop, your local germinated, organically one-stop shop for peppers, pumpkins, and a place to puke. From the depths of Oaxaca, the legendary Bradley Applenees learned the secret techniques of cultivation. Paired up with the legendary germination skills of Poway's finest Night Lord, the crop has witnessed unprecedented success. Visit the used crop today. All right. Yeah, I've personally eaten from the crop. It's delightful. Smells great. We're doing our part with the bees of the world. They love the crop. Come on down anytime. Bonus. Any visitors eat for free at the U, so that's pretty cool. I'd say a perk, if you will. All right, back to it. So we finished the draft talk, right? And this is where the foundation is. You can't win a championship from the draft alone. We kind of went over that last week or in episode 1. How many transactions there were, highest bidding, yada yada yada. But it's your roster is an ongoing, evolving unit, right? Like your day one is not your day championship, your championship day roster. And so here we are already transacting away. Some of us are confident in our roster currently. Some of us really aren't. It's pretty wild. We haven't even seen a single game yet. And there are already, holy shit. So I took notes on Sunday while I was in SFO, and in 24 hours, there's already been major change. We've doubled the number of transactions. Jesus, all right. So at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 transactions already. And our first fab money has been spent by Kyler Barely Newer. That's pretty sweet. You love to see it already out of the gates. Believing in Kiki Kuti. Yeah, this is where championships are won. The draft is the foundation. You can draft Sam Darnold in the 14th and be totally fine because you pick up fucking Naheem Hines. Yeah, or Philip Dorsett the third. Yeah, these are all, moves to be made. We still have a couple teams without kickers. So that's a thing that's people will have to address. I'm not naming names, but Scott, can you please be active? That's fucking crazy. You have 3 days, 2 days now. It's fucking Tuesday already. I want to give a big shout out to Mike Davis, the first cut of our 16-man rosters. He was dropped for none other than Jay Ajayi, who was then later dropped. Already the most dropped player. Ooh, is it Jay Ajayi? No, it looks like Kiki Kuti. I don't know. Fucking Frank Gore, Albert Wilson, and Jay Ajayi have both been dropped and added multiple times. Those are some, and Kiki Kuti now. Am I even saying that guy's name right? How do you pronounce Kek? Kek? Kiki? Kiki Wiki? Anyways, I'm a little delirious. Love to see an active transaction list. That means the league is healthy. We're in it. We're excited. People think they know some shit, even though they don't, because we haven't even seen a single game yet, right? But yeah, hopefully all of these moves fucking blow, and you guys are just stupid idiots. Hopefully. Fucking Pebbles is just light. Actually, yeah, holy shit. Out of these transactions, Pebbles has 4 of them. Bacon has 2. Kyler Barely Newer has 2. Shada Jameson has 2. So these are all teams that were clearly prepared come draft and are already tinkering. Oh, geez. Are there any better tinkerers in our league than Bacon and Pebbles? I think these guys are the master tinkerers, right? Bacon definitely is the master tinkerer. I guess I've never seen Pebbles on actual game day, but I mean, fuck, with all the waffling about that Chris Carson pick, yeah, he's a tinkerer. Pebbles, Chris Carson was a great pick. Nice work, buddy. So yeah, with transactions, there's obviously question marks. Will Kiki Kuti pan out? Will some of these not available players become available? Jay Ajayi, Demarius Thomas was not available until recently re-signed. What are some other big question marks heading into this season? I think obviously Melvin Gordon and Zeke holding out. Those two are, the biggest question marks, right? Are we going to have another Le'Veon Bell situation on our hands? It's kind of crazy how he's like redefined contract negotiations and he's given players the power, it seems, right? Like what good is a contract if you can just be like, yo, I'm not fucking playing, I'm out, right? Like that doesn't make any sense to me, really. Like Odell signed a contract extension with the Giants, and then boom, like get me the fuck out of here. Melvin Gordon, Zeke, both on their rookie deals. They want more money. You signed this contract, even though you're like producing more than you're making. you're still fucking bound by contracts. It's nuts. Good for them. I hope they both get paid fat. It's a bummer that Los Angeles is losing another elite running back. Um, yeah, we'll see what happens there. Luckily, Adam drafted his own backup, but and Max drafted Melvin Gordon as insurance really for a late season push. So both managers played this situation smart. I think if Melvin Gordon comes back anytime before week 10, Max gets incredible value. When was he drafted? I'm gonna look this up real quick. And Adam having Tony Pollard, that's totally fucking fine. You're gonna be great. Melvin Gordon was drafted in the 4th round. So, I mean, that's still pretty early. But, yeah, I guess you could have had Amari Cooper, Kenny Golladay, Derrick Henry, big question mark. Holy shit. Huge question mark, actually. Oh, God, Bacon, what are you doing? Guys, let's take a look at Bacon's running backs. Damian Williams and Derrick Henry. And Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell, solid running back. Hopefully the Jets are good and he can carry your team, because I personally don't believe in Derrick Henry. And Damian Williams is now a fat question mark. I've already kind of talked about that. Holy shit, your next running back is Jerick McKinnon, who may be going on season-ending IR. And then Tucker him out, dude. Bacon, buddy, are you just... Get the Sacco out of the East Wing. You're gonna need some serious trades, or Kittles and Bits hopefully can carry your team. Hopefully Derrick Henry is the monster that he finished the season as, because if he is unplayable like he was last year, and Damian Williams loses, the bell cow role to McCoy, you're fucked, bro. Oh no, Sacco favorite 2020. Bacon, has there been a back-to-back Sacco winner? Normally, when you win the Sacco, you come back with a vengeance, right? Like you do a fuckload of research. You're like, oh, I'm all ecstatic. I'm gonna win this year. No more Sacco bullshit for me. I mean, that's what I did. That's what has happened in years past with Sacco winners then going on to win the championship. Clearly not the case for Bacon's team. Fucking brutal. Another big question mark. Will Scott even set his lineup? I mean, who fucking knows, man? It's like a 3-step process, right? 2 steps to log in now on the Yahoo Fantasy app, which, does anybody else find that annoying? And then you just have to click one button, start active players, and then you're golden. It's literally, the hardest part is logging into Yahoo. Hopefully our boy fucking wakes up. And does anybody know when this application deadline is? We need Scott back. Never set his lineup novum. That's what we call him in the East Wing. It's the first time calling him that, and I think I kind of like it. Never sets his lineup novum. Doesn't really roll off the tongue. Bill, question marks on your team? Drafting 2 proven unreliables in Leonard Fournette and Jameis Winston. I mean, you could also kind of throw Keenan Allen in there with his freak injury history. It's never really his fault, right? What was that, lacerated kidney or whatever the fuck that one year? Or spleen or whatever it was. But, yeah, Leonard Fournette. Hopefully his mind is right and he's back to being a baller. That'd be cool. Um, Jameis Winston. I kind of was buying into the hype with Bruce Arians as his head coach. I think he's going to be pretty good, though. I mean, Bruce Arians was talking mad shit throughout the preseason about how bad JMO was. Bill, you got this stack of Chris Godwin and Jameis Winston, so hopefully those pan out. Um, Also, shout out, you drafted Dante Moncrief. Big question mark. Are we gonna get a Moncrief pun name? A shot of Jameson is cool, but a slice of Moncrief is better. I don't know. We'll see. That remains to be seen. Once James Winston gets dropped, you'll have to rename your team, and hopefully we get a piece of that action. Speaking of shitty running backs, O'Malley. Okay, this is a team that was a questionable team. O'Malley. We drafted David Johnson. Big question mark. David Johnson. Talent is there, undeniably. But that team, can you trust them? Number 5 overall. I If I was drafting at number 5 overall, I fucking hate my life. Who do I take at number 5? I think I would have taken James Conner or probably would have gone DeAndre Hopkins, to be honest, here. But yeah, so David Johnson, question mark. He's been pretty boom or bust. Then you draft Sony Michel, who I loved last year on the Patriots. But that's also when they had 3 running backs constantly going on and off the IR. They now have, I think, 5 healthy running backs in New England. I hope that Sonny Michel carries the lion's share. Just because I like the guy and your team needs it, but there's a very real chance that like the Patriots go down and all of a sudden Sony Michel can't run the ball because they gotta pass a lot and James White is in the game fucking swooping up everything. So another question mark there. Then you drafted AJ Green, who is already gonna be out for multiple weeks. Bold strategy there. Matt Breida, which, Breida's a baller. Breida the cheetah. We also have Tevin Coleman on the Niners, so running back by committee. I think Kyle Shanahan kind of chooses the hot hand week in and week out. Hopefully, Matt Breida, for your sake, is the hot guy more often than not. He made a fucking stellar diving catch in the end zone in the preseason. So, I mean, if they unleash him like that, that'll be great for you. But, already in a timeshare there. Then you drafted Darius Darius the Juice. We'll just call him Juice. Who fucking tore his ACL. There was a ton of hype about him last year. Tore his ACL. And is now part of a 3-headed monster with all-time, all-day Adrian Peterson and Chris Thompson, the pass catcher. So we'll see what happens there. I mean, Washington is also starting Case Keenum as their quarterback, so that's probably gonna be a valuable running back for you. This set of running backs is almost as terrifying as Stu's. Almost. Stu's running backs are still the worst. But yeah, Marlon Mack, Latavius Murray, he's actually gonna be fine. Jordan Howard, huge question mark. I mean, everybody thinks that Miles Sanders is just gonna take that job, but if Jordan Howard can hold out, then that's actually a great pick. 8th round for a starting running back, that'd be dope. And then Frank Gore with your last pick of the draft. Yeah, I mean, now he's like in a timeshare with Devin Singletary. Buffalo still sucks, so yeah. O'Malley and Stu, you guys are 1A, 1B for worst running backs. And Bacon's right behind you guys with 1C. um, Another fun question mark, rookie running backs. Those guys are proven year after year. There's like always at least 4 rookie running backs I think that do well year in year out. Maybe 2 in the top 12. So which of the rookie running backs this year provide the most value? I mean, I'm obviously pulling for Josh Jacobs, but it's very likely that David Montgomery just tears it apart in Chicago. I mean, their defense is phenomenal. Odds are they're going to have the lead and need to kill the clock, and they're just going to feed him. Miles Davis. Is that fucking his name? Miles Davis? Yeah. The rookie running back in Philly, Miles Sanders. Miles Davis is a fucking musician, right? Miles Sanders. That's funny. Yeah, he's in a timeshare with Jordan Howard. Nobody knows what the fuck's gonna go on there. So we'll see. Those are the three rookie running backs that I think will lead the charge, and hopefully all 3 end up as top 10 running backs, and all 3 of us that took the chance, rolled the dice, prosper. Yeah. Let's get into team names now. Holy shit. This year, the team name situation is phenomenal. It's a little bit brutal right now, trying to remember everybody's names, but I'll have it down here soon enough. I think, yeah, this is one of the strongest showings of cleverness. I don't think that there's a single Googled name on here. Definitely not Hawk and Cock. By the way, great ginger beer. Everybody should pick some up at their local fucking place that you buy ginger beer from. Lots of throwback names. I'm loving the Bagheera buddies and Havana Mahomies. Shout out to Pepper's Pals for that. Mahomies is kind of, like low-hanging fruit, obviously. It's, I think, been used before. I think it was used last year. Pepper's Mahomies. So, I mean, that's not really the most original. But, yeah, Havana's Mahomies. That's fine. Whatever. Shout out to Pepper. Yeah, another store. We had the joke store. We got Humphrey's sex store with all my handcuffs. I mean, I think it's clever. Fuck you if you don't. Kaimi, maybe. Shout out to an all-time favorite karaoke song, Call Me Maybe. Hey, I just drafted you, and this is crazy, but I'm going to name my team after you. Well done. That one, I don't think that one could be Googled. Locked and cocked and loaded is the funniest fucking name. And every time I read it and think about it, it just reminds me of Pebbles drafting. It's total shout out to Pebbles drafting. Locked, cocked, and loaded, right? Never again will we let Pebbles choose the wraparound. That was gnarly. I think your average draft time per pick was like 2 minutes more than any other person in the league. I mean, undoubtedly, you were the highest, but I think it was like a significant amount of time. And then the fact that it was compounded by being back to back, and yeah, just your fucking unawareness of the draft in general. It seemed like Oh God, it's the fourth round. Is fucking Aaron Jones gonna follow me? Is Dalvin Cook still available in the fourth? The fuck. Anyways, locked, cocked, and loaded. Great name. Um, what else do we got? Hawk and Cock. Yeah, it's a lazy name, but it's fun and it's a meme, and I love it. uh, I hope that you have to drop Hawkinson because who the fuck is that? And you have to choose a new name, and this cleverness continues. Kyler barely newer, phenomenal. That's my favorite favorite name of the whole league. Well done. Um, yeah, and then we have Carry On My Wayward Son. I mean, fuck, if who knows if he's gonna update his roster in time for day one, but let alone Google a new team name. Um, so I actually took a little took a moment to Google some names for him in case he listens and just can't can't take his own time. So I think here's a couple predictions. I think Mix and Match is a good one. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That one was a popular one on the Google. Also, there's the default Scott's Stellar Team. That would be better than Carry On My Wayward Son, especially because Carry On is no longer Scott's son, and it's got to go. Come on, Scott, step up, buddy. All right, yeah. Round of applause to everybody. I don't get Max's name. V2 7. Is this a shout out to all the like second children's? Are you gonna name your child Max Jr.? What's I'm missing it. I guess I'm not that smart, maybe. I don't know. Can somebody explain it to me? You can tweet at me and let me know. Yeah. Anyways, it's 5:20 in the morning. Bacon's probably waking up soon, if not already, for the gym. I'm going to the gym as well, so I guess I should fucking wrap this shit up. And we'll do so with my picks for matchups this week. Yeah, these are my weekly picks. And before we do that, I'd like to give a shout out to the final sponsor of today's podcast, the Hydra Homies. What do Scarlett Johansson, Tyreek Hill, Alex Morgan, and Aaron Weaver have in common, besides stunning good looks? That's a... Can't even say that shit. They're all elite hydrathletes. Take your success to the next level by switching to water. All right, that one sounded better in my dreams. But yeah, here we go. Weekly picks. Humphrey's sex store over Bagheera's buddy. I have a hot take that Zeke does not sign by week 1, and Tony Pollard fills in and actually does remarkably well. Puts up good numbers, and which kind of like fucks with Zeke a little bit. I think Tony Pollard has a great game, and I think it's not going to be enough to overtake my wide receiver crew, Hopkins, Thomas, and Tyler Boyd, and D.D. Westbrook. I think I got the best receivers in the league. And yeah, you can suck on that, Adam. Bagheera's buddies. You big bitch. We've got Hockett, Cockett. Oh, sorry. Whoops. We have Locked, Cocked, and Loaded over Tucker him out. Yeah, I think I've already said my piece about how questionable Bacon's team is already. Justin Tucker is, one of the MVPs of the league, but I don't know that it's going to be enough to overcome Austin Eckler and crew. But we'll see. I mean, Deshaun Jackson, he's kind of a boomer bust, bro. Yeah, Chris Carson, he's gonna be solid. So fucking, we'll see. Damian Williams, is he gonna score any points at all? Is he gonna play? Is it gonna be all LaShawn McCoy? Who knows? But I got locked, cocked, and loaded in that matchup. This one pains me a little bit. I would always, when given the choice of the U or anybody else, I would typically choose the U, and unless it's bacon. But I got to go back to back against the U. I'm calling Kaimi maybe over Hockencock. Sean and I go way back. We were the gay boys at one point in the not so distant past. I think that even though he has questionable running backs, he's got a solid receiver core, and I think Hawkinson scores less than his projected value. It's going to be hard because that's like one touchdown reception for 1 yard, and he'd already beat his projections. So, maybe he does, but I don't think so. Though they are playing fucking Arizona, anything can happen. Arizona makes the best jobber look like a real athlete. So, Kaimi maybe. Hot take, this is the lowest scoring matchup out of them all. With, the asterisk that Scott fucking starts his team. Next up, we have Kyler, barely newer, versus Carry On My Wayward Son. Yeah, so Stu obviously wins if Scott doesn't update his team. I mean, what are we going to do about this? Are we just going to have a shadow government moment and start his obvious lineup? Is there going to be like a hostile takeover of his team if he fucking doesn't? Like, what are we doing here? But yeah, I think I'm gonna roll with Kyler, barely newer in this one. And I look forward to the rabbling with the fallout. Hopefully Scott, shows up, and then we just don't even have to worry about it. But maybe not. I think Julio Jones and Odell and Alshon carry Stu to victory in this one. Next up, we got Bill versus Ev Dog. Projected difference of less than 1 point. We all know projections are bullshit, but I'm gonna roll with Evan's team, the Havana's Mahomies. I think Evan drafted somehow. I think Evan drafted a very good team. I'm proud of you, buddy. You've come a long way from the depths. Are you even bad? Are you in the? You're normally in the playoffs. I'm the bad one. Maybe I should learn a thing or two. Anyways, Havana's my homies. And then last but not least, I'm choosing Devontis Targaryen. I think Devontae Targaryen would have been fine. Devontis, I don't know. I don't think he had to make that change. But yeah, I'm going with my boy in the East Wing over Maxwell. Tyreek Hill is the man. He's going to just put up like 30 against Jacksonville's defense. It's going to be awesome. Chubb's going to blow up. And Todd Gurley is going to be benched for the second half of that game because they're just going to trounce the Panthers. I think Cam Newton's going to get hurt in the first quarter, and it's just going to be a chaotic season for the Panthers. Sorry, Stu. I'm wishing that evil on you. But, yeah, my boy Gall over Max. So, just to recap, Humphrey Sextor, Locked, Cocked, and Loaded, Kaimi maybe, Kyler, Barry Lee Newer, Havana's my homies, and Devontis Targaryen. Those are your winners for this week. yeah, what are we at? We're at 59 minutes, 1 hour on the dot. I think this is a good time to call it. Um, I hope you enjoyed this one as much as the last one. I think I, would have liked to have been drunk or high, but I guess jet lagged and delirious might be a not so good replacement. I wish you all the best of luck, except for Bagheera's buddies, obviously. I hope you fucking suck this week. Football's here, boys. I'm excited. Game on. Talk to you later. This has been episode 2 of A Couple of Best Friends Hanging Out. Peace.